So today's unforgettable memory is going back to Israel to visit family, and it's not really a the single memory, but it's just any time there was a return. And I think it started with that summer in terms of the return, because leaving semi abruptly, everybody saying goodbye, and then coming back X amount of time later, people get on with their lives. And when when I come back to visit, I'm trying to reinsert myself into those lives. And yeah, there's the immediate family, which is always attending, but previous friends or neighbors kids certainly are they had their own life, they had their own thing, and months go by and I'm not there. You carry on, and it's always nice to see everybody. Oh, nice to see you, how's everything going? Everybody catches up, and it's but eventually things whittle down, and it's almost that my discomfort, because I kind of always felt that you're always putting somebody out. It's like, oh well, they're here, and we got to visit. And slowly over time, that particular reconnection just became almost trying to be forced a reconnection, and I felt that it was forced, and I felt that I was forcing it, that I was coming in there, and then like everybody would have to open their doors, and very, very hospitable people who were previously neighbors with their kids, and I knew those kids and we went to school, but those days different, and they have their days. And as it slowly went on, friendships deteriorated, people that I knew are gone, didn't keep in touch. I had my own thing to do when I was in the States, and then when I go back, it's just like I have nothing to do other than trying to reconnect those connections that are not maintained and not, for lack of a better word, respected. To what extent does an 8-year-old kid respect connection, or a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, an 11, and it keeps going to the point where almost feeling uncomfortable of making those reconnections. And I remember feeling that way because my birthday would be coming up, so the birthday would be celebrated early in Israel, and I remember where people would get invited and it almost felt like they were coming out of rote, just because, even though I wasn't maintaining those connections. And it's like, why are they coming to see me when it's just this happenstance? And I didn't quite understand it. You have to maintain connections, you have to build on them, or else it just deteriorates and it gets smaller and smaller. And I eventually felt almost that I'm using these people just while I'm there for the week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it was, 4 weeks sometimes, when I was younger. But it's still a short time, and then I'm gone. So I arrive, hey, and then I'm gone, oh. And to what extent are they put out by that? And eventually eventually I just didn't feel comfortable engaging, and then I would, be alone and just want to engage, but I couldn't engage. How do I even reinsert myself into these people's lives? And should I reinsert myself? And they were always cordial, they were always nice. I mean, once it opened up, it was fine, but it eventually wears thin, in the sense that those friendships come and go. Those things just are not secure, and it takes year after year after year of just the same repetitive behavior of visiting for a couple of weeks, and then you go back to the States. I go back to the States, and then I visit for a couple of weeks, next seasonal thing, and back and forth. And eventually, no complaint to them, but it was just people felt that, they were recollecting me how I was, not how I've changed, and I was changing certainly, by the U.S. culture, and also going back and forth with trying to negotiate both worlds in that respect. So it's almost like a unforgettable memory, in the sense that it was the start of a slow deteriorating process of, losing a lot of friendships from childhood, losing a lot of familial relations, and creating that disconnect that, for me, just became the norm. So to that end, thank you for listening.